Hi, this is Colorful Foresight where we intuitively connect from within. Hi, Angela. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thanks, Sylvia. How are you?
I'm good. I'm feeling the vibe of my outfits.
Yeah, I want a disco dance
I think
in your sh- honeycomb.
I'm gonna wear more print.
Yeah, it's a great print.
Okay, for this topic on true democracy, we're going to be channeling this message from the bright divine energy, also known as the compassionate light. Show the picture. There you go.
Oh, there we go.
It's just a warm feeling, that energy. The founders from ACOM with Sri Pritaji and Sri Krishnaji and the Golden Age movement with Sri Bhagavan provide many enlightening programs to navigate our mind, body, and spiritual consciousness. Isn't that nice? We love it. We love them.
Yeah.
I mean, what, been almost like a 10-year relationship?
Oh, at
Just
least
yeah.
a couple of lifetimes. Yeah.
Oh, couple of lifetimes. Oh, we're going there. We're going there now. Okay. Okay, you're right, actually, though. You know what's great when I feel the scroll, the compassionate light. It's just very like graceful energy. It just goes right through.
Just
And
that movement you did. It's so beautiful. It's like a
it's like your
dance.
dance, right? I noticed
Yeah.
when you dance, you have that kind of thing going on. You were saying earlier before the video went on that sometimes when you dance, you dance with your compassionate light, and it's very much like that. Even before your relationship with compassionate light, you had that, but you would what is the difference between when you were connecting dancing with the compassionate light before you knew the compassionate light to now? What's
If I
similar and what's different? We could do that.
the before, I'd always dance with the divine just from my heart and feel it more like it was above, coming
Mm.
like your heart radiating up to the sky. But now when the compassionate light comes, it's like either all around me, surrounding me like an embrace, or it's coming in like a not like an ET spaceship, but it's coming in to just say, we're here and we're dancing with you. So
Oh,
it's more like equals. Not that I am of that enormous, great compassionate light, but it's more like I don't feel like I'm underneath. I feel like I'm with a friend,
it
and
reminds
it's
me of the Jesus thing. You could do what I could do. Jesus, like, always, even though he had like this ability, he always said, "What I do, you could do."
he did, didn't he? He said it so many times. If you go through the Bible, it's everywhere. And it's not me. He's saying it's not me. It's not about me. Did you watch Life of Brian, the
No,
Monty Python? It's another.
no, go ahead.
It's a guy who everybody thinks he's the Messiah, and his name's Brian. And he's like, it's not me. I'm not the Messiah. And it's an ironic way of actually talking about the real message of Jesus. But the guys who wrote the movie are very sacrilegious, and the church didn't like the movie when it came out. But it's actually the story of Jesus. It's like, it's not about me. It's you. You. Stop talking about me. So that's funny he said that.
And even though I grew up Christian, I grew up Catholic, so I went to Catholic school, but it had been like a good 30 years. I go to church once in a while with family, but I don't really read the Bible. So there's certain things that stuck with me, and that's one of it. So it's amazing how, like, a short period of time, how much I grasped from the Bible. Imagine if I actually studied it. But one of it is from that kind of mentality, like, even though the divine is up there, so to speak. Not how it was before, everything was like this. But now it seems like everything's going within and in many cultures. So that's great. That maybe I'll start dancing like you. I could never do it now. I just use a compassionate light and I'll spray. By the way, we had a serious topic, but just being tapped into the compassionate light, I'm just feeling it. The question was like about what is the point of democracy and a true democracy possible? Obviously.
Well, I
The
think we
way
got
we're acting,
some of the information from your question about what was it like before the Great Compassionate Light and after, because for me before it was more top down,
mm-hmm.
But now it's all around me, and I'm in a circle, and I'm an equal contributing factor of the democracy or of the great compassionate light.
Isn't that beautiful?
Oh,
The star card basically is like the all is possible, you know? And I
oh,
know some people use the star card at USA because it's supposed to be about freedom and all that. But democracy, it it benefit for all countries, however that looks. But the idea of connecting with all that is, right? There's no
all that is.
hierarchy like social class or anything like that. Even if one person live in a hut and another person live in a mansion, you could still be in communal. Going back to that Jesus thing, wow, that really stuck with me. It
It's
goes
not
to
about
show.
me, it's about you. It's within you. God is within you. And that's true democracy when everybody feels that. It doesn't mean that we're all equal in terms of our finances or even our abilities. Like I can't do what my brother or sister does. They're completely different to me. So I had siblings, and I was the youngest, so I always knew I couldn't do what they did. Being the youngest, you get told that too. But you too, huh? You
We
can't
both
do.
have we all both is your brother the oldest or your
Yeah,
sister?
my,
So we got the oldest brother and the middle sister, and then us.
yeah. So I grew up knowing I can't do what they do, but we were equal, and that's a problem now. Maybe in the West you have, or even in China and some other countries, you have a lot more single children, and
Hmm.
they don't have the siblings to just put them back into even ground. Because when I grew up, it's like, yeah, you think you're better than me? Forget about that. But we were different. We had different
Hmm.
abilities, and we used to fight, and that was okay because eventually we just go, yeah, we're all the same, but I'm better at this than you are. And we go, okay, you're better at that, but I'm better at this.
No, but you're right. It's about challenges, right? Challenges. Because sometimes one of my most hard relationship are family members. Now, if it were like a friend or whatever, if they were that challenging, I might have been like, well, I don't need you. I'll walk away.
Yeah,
But with family, you can't do that. So you have to learn to be together. So that's probably why some of the family are the most challenging because you can't leave just like that. And that goes very well with democracy, our differences. Instead of doing like, well, if you don't do this and da 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 da, it's like, no, we're still here and we still different. You can't make me think this or that. How we're gonna work together? I mean, we've done it before. I know uh, whew, the compassionate light just bringing that energy in me, like just healing that anxiety I have about that. Just remind me again about what is possible to democracy. So, do
mm.
you think you had two cards for that? You told me.
Yes, I did. I got the Queen of Swords, and in this
Mm.
deck, she looks very serious. I was looking at her face, wondering how lonely she is. And there's a book as well. So it's a little bit like rules and regulations. And traditionally, the Queen of Swords, which we've mentioned in other videos, is about higher standards and knowing what she wants and um, drawing or enforcing or encouraging others to live by those standards. So, what came for me originally before we started filming was that pull of democracy at a global level. Why do we even want it? Like, there's this debate about what's better, democracy or other governments, but it's not really answering the core question: what's the real benefit for democracy globally if we go for it? Because there's certain world leaders that just make fun of democracy and say it doesn't work. Look, and they show us all the examples because it's pretty dysfunctional, our
Mm-hmm.
current democracy. So the Queen of Swords is saying there are pathways to following rules where we can live at a higher standard of living as a species or as nation states. And
There's like a sacredness feeling to it, right?
that's a
Or
great
honor maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, these cards have the medieval flavor, so it's got that level of the code of chivalry or honor that the queen or the leader would be enforcing for the community. So how do our nations or our world, our group of nations that expect democracy to be an answer for the globe, how do we inspire people with the concepts rather than saying, it's better, it's better, it's better? That's just not very intelligent. I think we need to have the nobleness or the sacredness of it to inspire people to become a better version of themselves, a better humanity, a better fairer. Like Queen of Swords is also about related to the just and the best way, the highest good for the population. So how do we get to that as a...
And you know, interestingly, we show the compassionate light because we've done quite a few videos and we utilize different divination. And for this particular topic, we show the compassionate light. It goes back to maybe why did I mention Jesus about how he's like, what I could do, you could do. And it doesn't matter what walk of life you come from. And you could be more skilled or more this or more that. But in some ways, because maybe some people have to work for certain things, they're more skilled than somebody who's up there and have everything handed to them. So it's interdependence. That's what the quality, right? The quality of true democracy. Because we utilize each other's resources well, right? If I don't know, that's all coming. It's possible.
I can't believe you
But it's
said...
going back to like maybe we got to
Yeah.
remind that we're in commune with all that is.
I
What do
can't
you
believe
get?
you said interdependence, because the other card was the Three of Pentacles, and that's exactly...
Together card, right? Working together.
Yeah, our shared goals and we're dependent on each other. We have to share our resources. So what are our shared desires? As a democracy needs to be about the common good. And
I
that
like
doesn't
something
mean
new about that card. That could be an
interdependence.
Oh, I like that.
And it's the Holy Trinity too in the three. So interdependence is also our connection to the physical and the spiritual and the mental planes.
It's going back to competition. Not that we were working together for a long time. I remember being the kids. We used to get items from other country. It was like such a big deal. And then now it's so easily available. Kind of like don't appreciate it. Yeah, because it was like, somebody traveled and they brought you like a trinket. Now it's like you can buy it on the internet or things like that. So it's not like we never had that idea of utilizing each other's resources. But I feel like we're going back to maybe the honor of it, the sacredness. I don't know. And that had to do with the timing of the planetary that we mentioned, that we're heading into a more interdependent relation again. So something in the air, something in astrology that helping us to bring that back together, but more deeply. Because even though you could go back to the good old days, they're nothing like today. You grab some of the good quality from before and you deepen and add to the good quality we have right now, and hopefully we bring it to the future. Going back to the star card, and that's what we could bring true democracy. And how that showed for each country may be different, maybe not with that word, but that kind of energy.
Yeah, I
Because
really
in your country specifically, you use You have a different kind of system that worked pretty well than the USA.
It sort of works. It's falling apart a little bit
Just
because
like,
of,
yeah, but you know what? Just like capitalism. So they're good and bad, you
yeah,
know.
there's still a lot of emotional trauma in the country from how we colonized in Australia. So that hasn't been healed, and it affects everything. It's in every government policy. You can feel this lack of, it's never good enough because of the original crisis that happened 200 years ago.
You know
Yeah.
what I would like to ask? Because there's a lot of countries that have that similar story. Like in US, we know about slavery. And now we're seeing, especially the last few years, with a different kind of leader that we had, he was utilizing that pain of the black between black and white, you know? And then the current leader we have a little more wanting to work together. So why don't we add, I guess the compassionate light would like to help us see a different way of how we could heal, because so many countries have hurt each other, not just with the kicking somebody out, the original people.
Owners of lands, and yeah.
Right. There might be so many similar type of things of people going to other countries, explorers, and taking over without going back to that honoring the original people. So I don't know. What came to me is how could we heal that how could we heal the hurt that we cause to humanity, I guess? Or you want to go specifically to what you were talking about, the hurt in your country and my country, or countries?
Yeah, it's interesting. Is it the same for each country? And I feel it is. So I think we'll just ask for the hurt in humanity to get to
Yeah,
that
but some
core.
country, it may not be slavery colonial, or
Colonialism,
right, but it may be social class, like there's so many different things.
tribal
Yeah,
warfare, and old wars, like what's going on in Europe at the moment, that
right.
repeat themselves like a
Oh, that's
washing
right. In the
machine
Middle
cycle.
East, right, right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, compassionate light. Do you want us to do some cards? They just pick out one. Okay, just one. So the question is, how can we heal besides just saying, "Oh, you know, we did wrong. We apologize." What did compassionate light have to offer? They gave the Three of Wands.
Communications. And
Communication, good old communication. Healing you were showing in the card before between different waters, like bridges, right? Bridges. That's why this card is like an international card sometimes, like going international, or it could be seen as international. So we're speaking on an international, well, democracy, right? What we're talking about everywhere. But communication came to you, so I'm going to trust that. What card did you get?
I first got the Ten of Pentacles with the King of Cups. After that, for clarification.
Goes back to that maturity, right? The King of Cups is like water. You want to mature. Society have to mature emotionally. We got to mature our emotional intelligence.
And I really, really still feel like how we work with our home economies and our relationship to each other. So, Ten of Pentacles is really our wealth at the family level or at the home and the heart level.
And as
And
a country too.
if we really value humanity, do we really value humanity? Or are we still thinking humanity's not all that it's spoken to be? So, is what Jesus's message about that what I do, you can do? Are we really tapping into that healing available from the heart? Or are we just thinking about like the resources in a very materialistic way? Or do we look at the emotional connection that we have to humanity and how to really support humanity and lead it forward. If we're looking at how do we simplify communication, that's one thing.
How
I
we
think
what?
that's a big thing for our age. How do we simplify communication when we have all these different countries wanting different things, different ideas of democracy? How do we, and I think Elon Musk and some of the people are trying to do that with some platforms to simplify.
Well, maybe that's why the compassionate light is all about healing through all those walls, all the mental mind games, and being more at the heart. So not to be like, oh, it's all about the heart, but it is. So that's how we heal when we want to utilize to create more true democracy. Whether in my country I have it, but it could show up in your country in whatever ways you do it. Every country has different ways. We just want a place where you could, a type of system where it's like, I am like you and you're
You are
like
like me.
right. Even if I have a mansion or whatever, we are still living a good life somehow. Because some people are very simple. They don't need much.
I don't need much. I'm very
Right.
simple.
Yeah.
But I know my friends are not like that. So, but we all just share what we can and we find a way to be together. And that's the true democracy. How to be together in a simple heart connection.
Ooh, I got chills. It went on my butt though. I got chills on my butt. Is that a good thing? It went to my back. I know, it's like, woo, usually it goes like the middle of my back up. It went in the middle of my back down. I'm like, okay, I'm up. Maybe just make me get up and dance or something. It's like, Sylvia, you need to move more. So I'm going to join one of Angela's programs. I'm going to dance with a compassionate light.
Okay. I love it.
Is that how I'm going to end it, with us laughing like silly beans? Okay, next one we're doing. Woo, that was a good conversation.
It's just 1 hour almost. Do you want to do a new string out?
The compassionate light, really interesting. We should use that.
Isn't it? We should do that more. It's sort of a light bulb. Yeah, I like the light bulb. Get into your butt.
So weird. It's just like from the back down and then my ass. I'm like, okay. Maybe I had a healing in my lower chakra.